Hi, this is Melissa Ainsley, and we are on episode 4 of Living Intuitions podcast. This one is entitled, Am I Really a Court Reporter for the Spirit World? When I was younger, I wanted to be a court reporter. I actually did that for several years until carpal tunnel forced me to quit. At that time, it felt like I really did lose a dream, something that I really wanted to do all of my life. But looking back now, I realized that Spirit was preparing me for something else because honestly, I could not do that job now. Can you imagine trying to capture every word in the courtroom while Spirit is talking to me? Court reporters need silence as much as possible and precision, and Spirit does not exactly wait their turn. So let me tell you about my sparkly notebook days. When I first started mediumship, I went back to my court reporting days. I wanted to document everything. I wanted the sitter, the person that I was reading for, to have documentation of everything that I was getting. I wanted them to know what Spirit was saying and then for them not to have to take notes. I wanted for them to have a great experience and just to sit there and listen to what Spirit had to say for them. I was used to documenting everything, so why not just do that? And that's what I did. I went to Walmart and I found these great sparkly notebooks. I bought several of them. I started with a red one. I grabbed paper. I wrote down every detail. I even doodled. I doodled houses, barns, animals, names, that kind of a thing. I took photos of the pages. And then I sent it to the sitters so they could keep it. And it was easy back then because really all I was getting was names. I was getting just ages, that kinds of things. And so recently I made a post for my students and this is what I said. Don't forget, everyone starts somewhere. These pages are from one of my very first mediumship readings in 2017. It was slow. I wrote everything down as I got it. Even when it didn't make sense, I gave it anyway. This was all from one reading. And I'm not afraid to show this to you because on that day, this was great success. The reason I can help others now is because this is where I started. And I worked through every reading to get to where I am. And now I help others trust their gift because I had to do the same. And here's exactly what I wrote that day. Male, he's to 40s. He's a dad, but life of the party. Brian, I finally got through. C-A-T, cat, or K-A-T, cat. And then yes, Flippo, basketball, plus baseball, volleyball, sports. Winter, a drawing of a house, barn, animals, farm, moo. Take care of them. Food bowls, don't let them starve. House, yellow house. Stairs, black stairs. Record player, kid. Enjoyed that. Sitting in his pajamas listening to his record player. Karen, mom. Kitchen, oranges, whites, yellows. A sketch of a table, maybe a light green. Cat, C-A-T. Tell her I love her. I'm sorry. Died too soon. M-I, and it's circled. He arranged all of this. Grandpa's here. He wants to talk to you. I'm not a good communicator. And then I finished with that post to my students. And it says, you're not behind. You're just starting. And when you trust your gift, it builds. Looking back at that post and looking back at this notebook and where I first started back in 2017, that's quite a lot of information. And I got a lot of names back then. I don't really get a lot of names now. And there's a lot of details in there. I was so proud of myself back then. But now there's no way that I could write all of that because Spirit talks way too fast. Back then, those readings were amazing for where I was. And today, my readings look different because success is all about your perspective. I practiced. I was not afraid to be wrong, and that equaled my growth. There were very lonely years because here we are in 2025, and you could type up at any time right now, mediumship groups, practice groups, psychic, and you can find a group right now. You could go in and find hundreds, thousands of people. and you will find your people. But back in 2017, I did not have people. I may have found one or two, but there was nowhere like it is now. And I have students coming to me now in 2025 who are still afraid, who still lack confidence, and I give them that safe space. And why is that? Because I did not have that safe space back then, but I was not afraid to go out and practice. And what did that look like? When I first came out and said, I have this gift, I posted it on my Facebook page. There were several people who unfriended me, but there were a lot of people who said, I'd love to practice for you. And so I would work my full-time job and then I would do readings at night. That is how I became good at what I did. And it went back to my court stenography days. You cannot become a court stenographer without practicing. And I became one of the top of my class because I practiced. And it didn't hurt that it was at the time of the OJ trial. And I remember my daytime job was being a nanny. I remember I was able to just go in and watch the trial and sit and practice. This gift, you need practice. And this is what we give for the students. We give practice in a safe setting with sitters who know that they're practicing, they're training. But what we also offer is my help. And I'm in the background. I have my camera turned off, but I'm there as a safety net, as a blanket, because I've been there. I know what it's like when you have several spirits coming through and you don't know what to do. I make it where you don't have to spend years in development. You can spend months and then go out there and start doing this work. And that's part of what I learned in stenography school, was that you can spend as much time here as needed, but it really is up to you. And that is the thing that I think really got me to where I needed to be. I thrived in court stenography school because it was all in what you were going to do. I didn't thrive in Catholic school. I didn't learn that way, but this was something that I could thrive at, and I did. And I was, again, the top of the class. It was something that I wanted. It was something that I could attain, and it was something I was really, really good at. And again, mediumship, again, was another thing that I was really, really good at because I wanted it. And now it's something that I teach and I can help people get there because I know how to help them and help get their gift to where they need it. And it's just an amazing, amazing thing to see other people come to where I was and then quickly get to where they want to be, because they have a safe environment to practice and practice with people who won't judge them. And that's the biggest thing about this gift, is having people not judge you, because it is such a beautiful, beautiful gift. But it can be scary and isolating, but you really do have to keep going. The thing about court stenography and having it be full circle today, I was talking to one of our sitters about our system that we have now. And it's so wonderful where we can have people book their readings and it's already recorded. We don't have to do anything. The transcriptionist shows up, which is AI. It goes ahead and takes notes. It transcribes it and records it. And by the time that I'm off the call, it's already taken care of. So it's basically my own little court stenographer. And it's just full circle. Like, how did I become the one that is basically doing court stenography for spirit? I am telling their words, but I'm not using typing to do that. But I am saying what spirit is saying. And it's just so funny. I thought about it the other day. I basically am doing what I wanted to do, but in a different capacity. And someone else is doing the transcription, which was the hardest part. They record the readings and transcribe it for me. It's just like modern day court reporters. They had to evolve also. I watched this lady on TikTok and she's typing. I don't understand what she's typing. I looked into it and they have different systems now. my court reporter dreams didn't disappear. It just transformed into something different. I think it's beautiful. We have a program called the Woo Woo Crew, and that is where we have people who want to help our students practice. It's a safe space for our students. Why did that come? When my father died, before he died, he and I made a pact with each other that he would go up there and help me do this work. He saw how horribly I grieved for my mother, and he said, "Why don't you go teach?" And I thought, this was after he passed away. I thought, all right. I messaged a few people I knew and said, would you like to learn this? And they said, yes. I just got a group together and taught it, and they were able to give readings. I thought, wow, well, this is pretty neat. Here we are several years later. I have a full business. I have several students. I have students now in Germany, in London, in Australia, all over the world. And that would not have happened had my dad not said that. And I was looking in groups, and there are so many people out there going, hey, I'm a student for this person, or I'm a student for this person, and I need this many people. And I thought, I would like for my students not to have to go out and get their own sitters. So why don't we make our own sitter program? And it would also, help us have our own container of sitters, and, we could keep control over the people that they're reading for too. And it has been really, really nice. And the one thing that I've also noticed is how beautiful the readings that our sitters are getting, the help that they're getting too, the grief help that they're getting. We have some people that have newly passed people. We have people that are struggling with things, and just to see them grow and evolve over several months. Also, the way that their spirit guides show up for them. It's just really beautiful to watch. And the way that our Woo Woo Crew works is the student is mentored by me. I am in all of the readings. If I'm not able to be, my assistant, Caitlin, is in there, but they're all recorded. And we get to know our sitters also. And it's amazing to see who shows up for the sitters, how many times they show up. And so when a different spirit shows up for the sitter, it's like, oh, this is neat. Who is this? And, you really get to know their spirit guides and that kind of a thing. But it's neat to help the students and help them to develop, and they enjoy having this program. All they have to do is just tell me what days they want to practice, and they'd show up. The sitters fill out a feedback survey for them. The students get that, and they have development quicker than if they were doing this on their own. It's a wonderful, wonderful program. It's the 11 Intuitions Woo Woo Crew, if you want to find that on Facebook. We would love to have you join us. A lot of my students come just for confidence. It's what they're lacking. They have the gift, but they need confidence. I can't really give them confidence by myself, but being in that program, being in the Woo Woo Crew gives them that confidence, because they have a safe place to practice. And then they have me back there if they need help. And all they have to do is say, hey, Melissa, and I get right on the camera. How do I do this? I have two spirits here. How do I navigate that? And we go right through it. If they don't have any issues, then after the reading, we sit and talk about the reading. Did you have any issues with this? No, I didn't. What about this? Did you think about this? That kind of a thing. It really just helps them with their development at that moment. They get exact feedback at that time, and they can go through the program as quick or as long as they need it. I've got one lady who's going on her 7th month, and she's working on various things. She really just loves this program. I've got one who has been in it for 2 months, and we have given her an offer to work for our company. And we've got 2 others that have been hired, and one that is working on being hired now. We give them a place where if they want to have a job, they can come and work in our company. So this is a great way to have a place to come in, gain your confidence, but then also to get hired if that's something that they want to do. I just am so thankful that the spirit world is out there working with all of us. I'm thankful for that day that my dad said, "Hey, why don't you start teaching?" And I'm thankful for the day that I decided to start practicing every night with my sparkly notebook. And I remember sitting there with my little cat Tigger, who is over the Rainbow Bridge now, but she always knew when I was working with spirit. She would always sit with me. I'd light a candle and she would sit with me. Those early readings meant the same to me just as the readings do now. And back then I was a lot more scared to do readings, uh, afraid of failure, afraid of no's, but I always worked through them. And I was so thankful for the people who helped me out in that early year or two, who were there for me, who just let me practice with them, who just weren't afraid to help me develop. And because of them, this is what I've grown. I've grown 11 intuitions. I've grown this company. I've grown a safe space for developing mediums, psychics, animal communicators, anything you can think of. We have in this company. And it all started with a sparkly notebook. So no, spirit doesn't pay me by the word now, but I used to keep sparkly notebooks full of their transcripts. And I'm so thankful to spirit and to all of you for listening today to our 4th episode of 11 Intuitions. And if you would like more information on what we do, or if you would like to work with us and be mentored or to find the Woo Woo Crew, please follow us at www.11intuitions.com.